to Impact Health and Wellness. This is our series focus on breast cancer. And this week, we're going to be really focusing on prevention and what that might look like, especially if you yourself are not dealing with it or, having to undergo it with a family member, but you're just curious and you're wanting to take those steps in that action now. So, super
good.
Yeah.
So prevention, what does that look like? For me, mammograms, right? It's the word everybody's do we get one? Do we not get one? Do we get one? Oops, I'm shaking the table, so sorry. I hadn't had one for, I bet 5 years. And then I went and had one, and bam, they didn't see anything. What do you know about that? And then I felt something. You feel things, and your mind automatically goes into, that's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And then, months go by, and it's getting bigger, and it's starting to hurt, and then you think, okay, this is something. Girls, if you feel something, go get it checked out. Don't wait. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Go. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? Your mind's already thinking, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's okay. I'm not ever going to get cancer, but go get it checked out. People are afraid of mammograms. I know Melody is passionate about not having them, and I am so torn because it didn't find my cancer, but it was way on the side, and I don't know that they could go that far back. But I have a friend that they found it, and they found it very, very early. I don't know. I'm torn.
And I guess for me, one of the biggest reasons why I am a little bit deterred by it is, so I teach by day and I teach science. And one of the things that I came epiphany to last year when Mom was walking through cancer, I was doing a cell lesson. And we actually have a cell. One of the jobs of a cell is called a lysosome. And its job is to engulf viruses and bacteria. And so in a normal human healthy body that's not deterred of inflammation or overweight or all these different characters, your body, I believe, when fed properly, can engulf these things. And there was an amazing study on an autopsy that was done on a man who was in his late 80s, and when the autopsy was finished, he died of natural causes. They found cancer spread out his entire body, but he had no symptoms because his body had engulfed it all. It was doing what it was supposed to be doing. And, mammograms are great in some facets, I believe, especially when you feel something. But I also believe there's other therapies that we could use, like going through, and yes, it may take longer to do an ultrasound, but it's safer. It's not as much radio waves or, waves that are going through your body. And not only that, radiation, but, a mammogram really squeezes the breast tissues. And, just like if I was to, punch my mom in the arm, she may get a little bruise, right? Because I, disturbed that skin layer. And the same thing, I think, happens to our breasts. Why is it no different? And so, yes, sure, maybe there's a conspiracy theory out there that they make so much money off mammograms. I don't know. But what I wish, and Mom, you said it right, when you can find it, most cancer, breast cancer, is going to start in your lymph node up here and then trach down into the actual breast itself. And you can't find that in a mammogram. Like, you cannot get the thing around your arm. And so, unfortunately, when you have stage 0 or 1, there's a 98% livelihood after 5 years. But we can't catch it that early unless you have some other things. Maybe you're doing your self exams and you find it in the lymph node then. But it's one of those things that I feel like there are some other methods that women need to start practicing. If you're not doing self exams, like, I don't even know how to do it. Like, honestly. So my passion this week is to
Fill those
find
boobies.
somebody that's going to teach you. So I'm going to bring you guys somebody this week that is going to walk us through an actual self-exam, which I think is important in that prevention field.
Yeah, so I mean, hitting on prevention, you're wanting to find these things before they're actually already, full-blown cancer. And so I think we really have to start being more tuned into our body. And when I think prevention, I don't think just nutrition. I think whole body. I mean, what's your stress level? What's your spirituality? Whatever you believe, like, are you connected to God or whatever you believe? And are you walking a walk where you have a place where you can go and dissolve stress or whatever is eating you up? And other relationships, that's another big thing. Do you have toxic relationships in your life that you need to be mindful of? Because I think if you are more in touch with your body, you're going to know if something's going on before you get a diagnosis. So you have to be in tune to your entire self. And I think prevention comes into play. We'll talk a lot about nutrition, but that's just one piece. I mean, you have to be mindful of your exercise, because when you are working your body out, of aches and ailments, and I just think you're more in tuned when you have all of those things in check. So that's another thing that we'll talk about this week.
Yeah, I love this topic because I think prevention is the best way to focus on being healthy all the time, so that you're not fighting a disease when it comes. And this is such a good time, and we know so many things. We know more than we've ever known. And like epigenetics is a new study where in the past, I mean, people have had their healthy breasts removed because it's in their genes that they're going to get breast cancer. And to me, that sounds crazy. Like cutting off part of your body. Like if my parents both got arm cancer, I wouldn't cut off my arm. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And this study kind of just opens that reality up and says, just because something's in your family doesn't mean that you're going to get it. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and prevention is the biggest thing. If you're taking care of your body, if you're feeding it well, if you're exercising, if you're decreasing stress, if you are meditating, praying, just staying calm and breathing, like all of these things are going to change what your genes are doing more than who your parents are.
Yeah.
So that's so huge.
Yeah, and I know for Mom, she was diagnosed with triple negative, and it's pretty fascinating that the actual people that are being diagnosed with this type of breast cancer is on an astronomical rate. And I know Mom was going to share a little bit about things that she learned while going through breast cancer. So what was the book that you read?
So I've been reading the Whole Food Guide for Breast Cancer Survivors. And it just talks about when we are talking about prevention. So you got to think about our environment. Our environment in our world today is not safe. It's not healthy. There's plastic in everything. It's in your makeup. It's in your shampoo. It's probably in your soap. It's in our oceans. It's in everything. So I cringe when I drink out of plastic bottles, because I just think, gosh, because I drink a lot of water, and that's where I got it from, was my plastic bottles.
And that's an endocrine disruptor.
Right, and
yes.
So you got to be mindful of what you're putting on your face. Your skin is your biggest organ. You're putting lotion on that's full of toxics. Your body's soaking it all in. I mean, you can
those
go
lysosomes
crazy
can only absorb as much as possible, especially with as fit and healthy as your body might be. So if you're not walking a life of prevention now, and I know for me as a mom, I have on my husband's side, his mom passed away of breast cancer, and so I've got 2 daughters that I have to worry about. So at the age of birth all the way through until I don't have the right anymore as their mama, I'll always help prevent. I'll take that extra step that I need to make sure that my girls, just have that better chance of prevention, and it starts, I think, for me, what I can affect is I can affect their diet. And I think, you tuning in last week and learning about nutrition, and then this week all based on prevention. We're going to really kind of open your eyes up to the options that you guys have in this next Sunday as we look at alternative therapies. So thanks so much for tuning in to Impact Health and Wellness.
We'll see you next
Have a
Peace
good day.
out, guys.
See ya.